most profound mystical experience that you have had?
I mean, I'd like to tell you that it was a sunrise and the sun rising out of the water and being there, and suddenly I became all one with nature and the world. But it wasn't that. I mean, those things are beautiful, and I truly see them as part of the spectrum of reality and the most spiritual experience. My most spiritual experience was my first audience with my master, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I mean, take it for whatever it's worth.
Mm.
From my point of view, I'm entering into a room where there is an individual who is a prophet, who sees transparency through people's souls, where you're spiritually naked in front of the individual, where there is nothing to hide, and you're receiving advice and you're receiving direction from someone who is totally beyond the people of today. And to my mind, registers with any of the great prophets of yesteryear and displays the kind of courtesy and welcoming and kindness that you would expect of your parent at the warmest moment. To me, when I remember that first audience, which I was told lasted an hour and a half, and I barely remember the contents of it. I had to quickly write down later on, so I refer to what was said. I had a series of questions, but that to me was a moment of elevated transportation where two souls met at a very profound level and has continued to imprint me all my life.
It's funny you say that. I remember hearing Ramdas say that about his spiritual teacher in India, that when they were together there was no time, and it was
Hmm.
just this absolute feeling of love and
Yes.
oneness. What was the most prolific thing that he taught you?
There was a good number of things that my notes record, but there's one that stands out in my mind at the moment. And it goes to the core of self esteem and self worth and being a contributor to people and their lives. I was with my wife in that audience, in that yechidus, it's called from the Hebrew word yechida, yichud, aloneness with someone. Um, and I was going to, apparently, one of my questions was whether I was to take a certain position. Now, my wife, who knows me very, very well, felt that I was inadequate to take that position. She's my severest critic in a very
Hmm.
good way. And she has a bit of chutzpah. So, in front of the Rebbe, she says, but he's not really capable of that. And the Rebbe answered two things. One, he asked me, do I know Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet? And I nodded. He said, you will teach Aleph. That's the first thing he said. Second, he said, looking at my wife, the position will make the person. And that was the response. If you have anything that is within you, you already are gifted to be able to share it with somebody else. Don't ever say to yourself, I don't know enough to share my life with somebody else. I don't have enough life's experience. Don't practice false humility. Everyone who lives has adequately acquired something to share. Always know that you must share with others.
Oh, that's so beautiful. What is your greatest hope for society today?
That's a tough one. I guess it's self realization. It's to move away from a posture of fear,
Mm.
insecurity, or jealousy and envy, and to recognize that every individual in society possesses the exact know how and wherewithal to be able to live at peace within himself or herself, and then to have a society accordingly and a world accordingly. I think if we can move away from our personal fears and trust that there is goodness in the whole process of creation and life itself, and that you and I have the ability to express it, we can transform the world, we can transform society into a real moment of spiritual nuclear fission.